leap of faith.
This is the way. Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Tells me when we're from Memphis.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Film Optix, brought to you by the Drive-In Podcast Network, where we discuss film, TV, and everything pop culture related. I'm your host, Christian, and I'm joined by one of my co-hosts, Devin. It is Thursday, my dude. Oop, that was the wrong one. Hey, there we go. I saw the red button and I was like, oh, air horn. But yeah, how you been, man?
Doing good. I think since we're covering Invincible, we should do the old cut to title card instead of actually saying the name of our podcast.
That would be actually really, really funny. It's like
it would only work in video form, but
yeah, oh, for sure. Which we are working on, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be expanding our horizons here soon enough. It's just been a crazy week, and this was kind of last minute for both of us thinking about doing this. So we're back to the separate podcast for each show that is now running, which is like currently ruining my life because there's just so much going on. And oh man, I don't think it's going to be slowing down anytime soon. So endure and survive, or adapt and survive. But I
got no complaints. More content.
Man, I mean, it's great. I just want this. I want this shit to breathe. Like it's man, oh man. But what can you do? I mean, embargoes are here, come and gone. There's so much content coming up in May itself, and I think we have a little bit in April as well. But I think it will be more on the lighter side for April, if anything. But summer is going to be crazy as always, and we're 19 days away from the Oscars, and that's insane to think about. But you got any hopes, any far-fetched hopes and dreams for the Oscars?
How many days away?
19. It comes out.
That doesn't seem right.
It comes out the same. It's the same weekend as Mortal Kombat drops, because that got pushed back.
Is it? You mean the Oscar nominees or the actual Oscars?
No, the actual Oscars.
That's weird.
Because the Oscars were already supposed to happen. They pushed it back to April. So it's 19 days. It's on the Music City Drive-In calendar, which everyone should be going to. MusicCityDrive-In.com. Anyway, let's talk about Invincible episode 5. We'd like to thank Amazon for allowing us to watch this series early. We are recording this early. This will be dropping on Saturday during the embargo time. For spoilers for Invincible episode 5, which is actually titled That Actually Hurt. So I think we're just going to be dropping between our Falcon Winter Soldier review, doing that separately. We're going to be reviewing that later this week. And this, we'll have 2 great podcasts for you guys to listen to. You can pick and choose or whatever, but I have a feeling one's going to outperform the other. So it's all good. But let's break into it. Actually, before we break into it, let me begin by saying you can listen to this podcast on platforms around the internet, and you can follow us on Instagram and Film Optix. That is Optix with an X, for all of our latest announcements, even though I don't tweet on there all that much. I'm a very busy man. We both have day jobs. Can't be as active as we want to on Twitter, spout on all the news and stuff like it. It gets a little draining from time to time, but we do report on the news when it's time to. So we've kind of been foregoing the news here for a few weeks, but that's all right because we got more content to cover. So Invincible episode 5, titled That Actually Hurt. We're going to be going through the initial reactions, our episode breakdown, any Easter eggs we would have noticed, predictions for episode 6, and of course, our rating. So let's start off. I'll actually start off this time because I feel like I always have Devin go first. It's time to change a few things up here. Yeah. So for my initial reactions for this episode. It's it's getting good. I like each episode, like we said last week during our double feature review, that they just keep planting cookie crumbs, and it's just getting more interesting. And this one is just crap just hits the fan. I'm sorry. It's just, I almost cursed. I was like, I'm trying to do better not to curse as much on the podcast, but yeah, crap hits the fan. It's all, flying fedoras everywhere. And it's like, wow. And it's just,
I'm not sure how effective you can be avoiding cursing on an Invincible review.
That is very true. And it's still like, we see more adult themes, with blood and gore, and a lot of blood actually with this
a lot
episode.
Of blood this episode.
Yeah, but it's just, man, it just gets better and better. And I'm liking this more than Falcon and Winter Soldier so far. I'll admit it. I'll say it right now. I'm enjoying Invincible way more than I'm enjoying Falcon and Winter Soldier. I like them both. Don't get me wrong, but Invincible so far is the clear winner. It's keeping us on our toes. There's a lot of mystery behind this new world, original concepts. I mean, it's everything. I'm loving it so far. What about you?
Yeah, I think that this episode was definitely much needed after I would call last episode a bit of a lull, just kind of forgettable in the grand scheme of the whole season. So this episode getting back to like just craziness and unexpected things happening was definitely needed, and it delivered. Like, Titan is just such a badass.
I think he's one of
Ottley.
Yeah. And for the longest time, I knew that beforehand. Someone tweeted out about it, that it was supposed to be.
He was in the first episode too.
That's right. He was in the first episode. Totally,
but it was very brief.
Yeah. But it's like, I really like him as a character, you feel for him. And we'll get into it in a little bit here. There's a little bit of a betrayal going on, but it really just captivates like this. If anything, this episode shows how hard it is to be a hero and balance the everyday life. Like we've seen it with, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, those types of things, but it's like, it's kind of the same concept, but for whatever reason, it just feels more real. I mean, you have, I almost said Dick Grayson. You have Mark Grayson, who is
maybe they're related.
Maybe, Dick Grayson's of Ultramite confirmed. But you have this relationship between Mark and Amber, and you can clearly see that Mark cares for Amber a lot, but his priorities do lie elsewhere. And he's like, hey, I would love to spend all this time with you. I would love to, do all this like fun couple stuff, but I do have a duty. Like, he chose to be a hero.
He's got to tell her eventually. I mean,
do you think he's going to?
He has to.
I don't know. I mean, so I think he is possibly better off with, oh my God, it's the girl in the pink. I'm blanking on her name.
Eve.
Right? Eve. That's right. So like it can go either like he can easily end up with both. And I'm assuming we're getting into spoilers right now. So yeah, there's your warning, ladies and gentlemen. But, so in this episode, and, for this breakdown, I feel like he could go either way. Like, I mean, if he tells Amber who he is, it depends. I mean, the ball's in her court, it depends on how she feels about it. And, if she accepts him for who she is. It seems that Eve has already done that because of the situation that they are both in. They're both, cut from the same cloth, essentially, in a way. And, they have that understanding. So it kind of just depends on what Amber wants to do. If Mark decides to tell Amber. So I don't know. It's a sticky situation for sure, because, she's only seeing it from her side, and Eve knows what's going on. And it's like, it's not Eve's responsibility, and it's not Eve's business to tell Amber. It has to be Mark telling Amber herself. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the classic dilemma, but you just can't date people if you're a superhero. It's just not going to work.
Unless they're a superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this entire episode so far, it's with Titan, and that seems to be the main discourse.
Yeah, his storyline was very interesting. He's kind of like he's the muscle for this kind of mob boss type guy called Machine Head, who's literally a like computer on his head, and he talks in auto-tune, and it's really entertaining. Like he would just go, like be talking, and then like auto-tune would just turn on for a few words.
Yeah, I noticed that. I actually kind of like that. At first, I was like, okay, he is computer head, but I love it how, I guess, like fast forward just a little bit, and we'll back up. But like when when Mark's trying to figure out which one computer head is when he's helping Titan, he's like, which one is he?
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I love the small little banter in the show, man. It's the small little dialogue. It's great stuff. But sorry, go ahead, continue.
Yeah, it's just nice to see him, and then we get some more background on him. He's got a little girl, and he's got a significant other, and he's trying to live a normal life. So he enlists the help of our boy Mark Grayson to help him defeat Computer Head, and then that's when shit hits the fan. A lot of it.
A lot, dude. Like, and I guess with Machine Head, it's more of a probability. Since since Titan broke in and, received that chip for him, I guess his probability mathematics have like doubled or tripled or whatever it may be, which it's kind of insane because he can pretty much like see the future. And then it's like, well, can he? But it seems like very, very interesting. And then, of course, Machine Head has his right-hand man, Mr. Teleportation dude over here.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, wow.
Isotope was his name.
Yeah.
And then he's got his little rogues gallery of little team that people that doesn't talk except for the cool-ass line.
Yeah. And that was weird because I thought that was so interesting. The line just started wrecking like shit.
He is just a beast out of nowhere.
I was like, are you like, there's like, are you Superman? Like what are, like, he was just knocking heads left and right. And
he's just like, he's mocking Invincible as he's on the ground, murdering him. He's like, I want to show you mercy. It's like, oh my God.
And like, what's really messed up? Like while all this is going on, when this huge ambush happens and then, the new Guardians of the Globe come in and they get their ass handed to them. And it's just like,
I'm trying to remember who died. I know for sure Monster Girl is dead. Like she's done.
I think
she's gone.
I think she's done.
Who else was it? Was it Black Samson? Did he die too?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he died. The Shrink Girl, I don't think she died. Monster Girl, I actually
Invincible might be dead. Who knows?
No, he's
barely hanging on.
Yeah, he's barely hanging on. And his father literally watched the entire.
He watched it happen. That's the messed up part. He just up there watching it.
And backing up a little bit there with them at the dinner table when Mark, comes across Titan and, he wants to help. He's trying to figure out, he wants to get some advice from his mother and from his father, his father, Omni-Man, being who he is. And his father's like, no, don't help him. It's beneath you. You need to think of the big picture. And then his mom, already suspicious, or I'm pretty sure she knows what Omni-Man did already.
Oh yeah, she saw him. There was a scene where she discovers his bloody suit.
Yep,
and that was pretty scary.
That was. It's the whole. I'm telling you, this entire episode has just been like tensed up. It's crazy. I absolutely love it. And man, oh man, I'm in love with it pretty much. But yeah, I can't believe that Omni-Man just sat there and just, he just watched it happen. I just don't know what happened.
This
Like,
lion guy just kicked everyone's ass.
I'm like, what? I'm like, who are you? Like
It
Martian
was
Man?
like a lion guy and like an electro guy, a lava guy, and then
Yeah, the lava
a
goo
weird
guy.
robot thing that just stood there the whole time. I don't know what that thing
strange.
was.
I don't know. But I mean, even, we have the robot from the Guardians of the Globe. He's,
Yeah,
canoodling.
what the hell is he doing? I mean,
I wish
he's trying to duplicate DNA for something. I think he's just trying to make like backups for all these heroes that he finds dispendable.
and,
Like if they die in his team, it doesn't matter because he can just make more.
and I wonder if that's where the blue guy, the blue and it's the blue macho guy in his Mauler. Yeah, I wonder if that if they play a role into that, because they receive some of Mark's blood, and they kind of just we see at the very end of the episode where they're experimenting with it, and it's like it's crazy stuff, man. I just don't know. I feel like Omni-Man gives me like Martian Manhunter vibes just a little bit, just because like he's like, oh, I could go help my son, but I'm not going to. Or maybe it was more of a, hey, like this is payback, or like, hey, I told you so. But like Mark is
or he's just Martha Kent the whole time.
I just I want to know what Omni-Man's end game is, because
nobody knows. He's just
it's
doing whatever the hell he wants.
But like it's kind of troubling. I mean, we kind of see it with the boys, with Homelander. I mean, but everyone, he's obviously still out in the open and whatnot. But who's more corrupt? Because, man, I just don't know. Is it Homelander, or does Omni-Man have like this weird, sick, twisted like sense of reality, kind of like Thanos when he's like, hey, the world needs correction, and we need to destroy half the population in order for us to thrive and survive, because there's only a limited amount of resources. But I wonder what his dark, twisted fantasy is, because I feel like it is more. It's not more so of, oh, I just want to take over the world. Like there had to be some kind of weird, outlook on everything that might low key make sense, but he's always pushing Mark to train and whatnot. So maybe there's that. I don't know.
We'll have to find out. I don't know. I don't think it'll make much sense, because it usually doesn't. Like Thanos, this thing didn't really make sense.
I mean, like it didn't, but like it kind of did at the same time. But like,
I mean, if in that scenario, instead of having the population, just double the food output. That's the easy solution.
Yeah, but that's like the easy way.
That's the smart solution.
It's not as much fun.
The less deadly solution.
Because I wonder, the reality stone does that make, I mean, it makes things real in a sense, but just make a bunch of pizzas or something for the world. But are those pizzas real?
Pineapple pizzas for the world. And whoever doesn't eat it won't survive.
Honestly, yeah. I love pineapple pizza so much. I don't understand why people don't like it, like at all. It's one thing to try it and not like it. It's like, okay, like you tried it, you don't like it. It is what it is. There's a lot of things I've tried that I don't like, but to sit there and actually say pineapple does not belong on pizza. There's no way I put a fruit on pizza. Well, I hate to break it to you, but tomato's a fruit. And a lot of people use tomato on their pizza. Some people don't. Some people like their nice little white pizza. Some people like the Alfredo sauce as well. That's the good stuff. Oh, man. But
someone's hungry.
I actually am. Like, I haven't eaten in hours since like my lunch break. So I am a little, I'm craving a little something, but it is what it is. I actually
almost as hungry as the tiger guy.
Dude,
I want to see if they have his name.
What was his
here.
name? What was his? Yeah, do you have any
I don't
trivia?
even think they gave it.
Because he was just, like you said, he was just mocking.
He was licking the blood off his face as he's smashing Invincible.
It's, and like we've all seen the concept of like evil Superman, things of that nature. But like this wasn't even Superman. This was just a dude just kicking ass and taking names. Like he was,
and he came out of nowhere too. We don't even know who he is or what he is.
Yeah, he just came in, wiped the floor with everybody, and he's like, I thought these, this Earth's or this world's guardians would pose more of a challenge, and I'm like, who are you, man? Like, whoo, him and that
Rex Blode survived, right? He was at the end, limping around.
Rex is Rex, he. So what did you think about, Rex's outlook on, they're coming back from missions and, they want to celebrate because they thought that they won. And, obviously this isn't the original Guardians of the Globes that we saw during the beginning of the season, but you see them, they're working together, but they're, like it's kind of like playing Call of Duty, like when we used to play Call of Duty, right? So, we will be on a team, but we all have like our own separate goal of, how many kills we can get. Like, yeah, like we're on a team, but we're working separately together. Like, but separately, but together in a way. Because the robot kind of, points out their faults. He's like, hey, like you could have saved that entire bus of children or X, Y, and Z instead of, focusing on yourself. Like, yeah, you're fighting next to someone, but you're there's no strategy. Everyone's out of sync. They're just blowing stuff up and, trying to defeat the bad guys or, defeat the opponent without, trying to cause as less damage as minimize that damage that comes through.
I gotta take robot side on this one. I mean, it's just like in any sport, even if you get the win, you gotta sit down and watch the tape and see where you can improve.
I really like how they did that.
They had like he just like flipped his hands and then watched it back.
He's like, whoop. It's like, oh, okay. Like you're one of those fancy robots, aren't you? Yeah.
With a dastardly side plan.
Dude, there's just so many secrets, so much secrecy in here. It's just, and I keep like
pretty soon we're gonna find out Amber's dad is Michael Keaton or something.
I'm telling you, to this day, like that was probably one of the best plot twists I've ever seen.
It is interesting that we didn't get to see her parents because he was late to the dinner. Wonder who her parents could be. Oh,
Amber's parents. That's right. Yeah. I was thinking of Eve's parents. Eve's dad was like...
Yeah, Eve's parents are awful.
Well, her father is awful.
They both were. They were just like shitting on her for no reason.
Her dad almost called her a bitch. I was like, whoa. Man. He wanted to. He stopped himself. I'm like, whoo. I mean, but even if he didn't say it, like she knew what he meant. So it's like, oh man, that was crazy. But yeah, I think that was our first time seeing Eve's parents as well. But yeah, that is a good point about Amber's parents though. Because did we even see like a picture of her parents or no?
Doubt it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Man, oh man. I have a theory. I don't know how, I don't know if this is really going to make any sense.
What if her dad is the Black Samson?
Black Samson. I was going to say Titan, but that actually makes more sense. I don't know.
Titan already has a kid and girlfriend / wife, unless it's his second family.
He might have two families. That would be very interesting.
I mean, based on his backstabbing, it wouldn't be that surprising.
He played Mark like a fiddle, man.
He just used him and abused him and cleaned up at the end.
It looked like it's kind of, but like going back to like Mark's parents, it's like they were kind of both right. I mean, it's crazy as it seems that, with Mark's dad, he's like, like helping out, smaller people is like beneath you. Like, you need to think of the big picture. Like I said before, you need to think of, saving the actual planet, destroying asteroids instead of, being more of like a street fighter hero like Daredevil or like Jessica Jones or something of that nature. But then his mom was also right, saying, like, you need to decide what kind of hero you want to be. And, being a hero is more than just, saving, like thinking of the big picture. Like it also has you need to, focus on, the smaller issues as well, because it's just, like, well, I'm a hero, but like my problem, your problems are too small for me. So I'm not going to help you out. Sorry. It's like, well, that's not really a hero, but I can kind of see both sides. But it's like Mark gets played. I seriously thought he was dead right then and there. I was like, dude, that pound to the chest looked like it just hurt. But he's also half human. So I wonder how much that actually plays into his skill set versus his father's.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm not entirely sure, but man, we have been talking about this for a while. Was there anything else you wanted to bring up before we dive into, well, we can get to predictions for a hot second here, but anything you wanted to, bring up towards the breakdown before we move on?
Still got 3 more episodes.
I know. Oh, it's right. It's only 8 episodes. Dang, man, this is crazy. But it's happening so fast, like I really like this week to week stuff. I mean, like it would have been cool if we would have got it all at once, but I don't know. It's very, it's exhilarating. Like I love the conversation about it. And also shout out to the Invincible, official Twitter account, by the way. They're just having fun, just.
Yeah, I saw a few of the memes that they shout out.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
It's great stuff. It's just, man, we haven't, like, I mean, superhero, it's not even that superhero shows are like amazing. It's just like animated. It's like animated superhero shows are just fantastic. Like even with Harley Quinn, it's just like that show is so freaking good. And it's like, we're getting this. Maybe Koala Man's the same way. We don't know. Maybe, was it MODOK?
MODOK, the robot chicken of the MCU.
Maybe that'll be good. I really don't know. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll have to, figure out.
And we're gonna a Deadpool animated series on Hulu, possibly.
Okay, I was gonna say, has that been confirmed yet? I wasn't entirely sure, but that sounds amazing. And we haven't really reviewed anything for Hulu in a while since
Solar Opposites. So
that's
days.
right. Wow, Solar Opposites. I was thinking of the Ultimate Playlist of Noise. That totally went over my head for Hulu. But I really like Hulu as a platform, man. It is highly underrated, and there's a lot of great stuff on there. If you're an anime fan, crap ton of stuff is on there. I think we're getting stars as well. Like they're adding that to Disney Plus. Excuse me, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, any predictions for episode 6? What do you think is going to happen moving forward?
Well, we got to find out what Rob Robot's doing. He's just too sneaky right now. I like how the one Mauler attacked him. He's just like, I'm just here to talk. I'm not here to fight you. Right. Even they're confused.
I
just like Robot's design. How he's got like a man bun, but he's also a robot.
At first, I gotta say, I didn't really like his design. I guess I'm just not super crazy about like copper, like robots that aren't like C-3PO, but he's more of like a gold, like a shiny golden copper. But he's growing on me. It's perfect for him because he doesn't have any facial expressions. So it's like, he could be up to anything. This dude can just be, running the underground drug ring all by himself, or like, I just don't know. So it's very sneaky. And he knows it's, his probability like comes into play. And Man, I want to know his end game more than I want to know Omni-Man's, I think. Because he's just a little sneaky little snake over there.
Maybe they're working together.
That too. So many possibilities. But yeah, I don't really have any other predictions. I think we've kind of gone through that a little bit here already, but let's get into our rating scale.
I also like the small little detail of Debbie, the wife. She has like the map of how long it takes them to go to certain countries. And
I was going to say,
uses that
yeah,
to schedule out 20 minutes for her to snoop around.
That's like no time at all.
Yeah, it's like 5 minutes for him to go to Italy and back.
I was like, you have 20 minutes to sneak around your own house? Like, man, oh man, it's like he could be back in an instant. He could have, I don't know, forgotten his wallet or something, but oh man, that I think that was probably the most tense.
Does he even use a wallet? Superhero? Does someone like that, high level superhero, even have to use money?
That is true. Like, does he actually get paid for superheroing? Or does he just get like a bunch of like, hey, like I owe you kind of favors?
That's kind of got brought up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like they're not getting paid much. At least the Avengers aren't.
Yeah, because I feel like all that money came from Tony anyway. So whatever's left over, I'm sure that, there's like an Avengers like dowry fund or something like that in their treasury department, the Avengers treasury. So we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, let's get over to our rating scales. Let's get out of here, Devin. What would you rate episode 5 of Invincible titled That Actually Hurts?
We're back to a solid A.
Oh.
After it dipped down a little last week, but we're back.
Okay.
Much needed jolt of energy this episode.
All right. So I was gonna give it an A plus, honestly. Just because it is one of those, excuse me. I give it like a 95 out of 100, an A plus right then and there. Or let me go 96 because 95 can be a little back and forth. But this was probably one of the best episodes of the season so far. We were getting more breadcrumbs. We're having certain things being revealed and just it's just all around mystery. This is probably the most tense out of the entire season. It's just like, like we said, shit hits the fan. We learned about so much, of Mark's decision making and whatnot, and you can actually see how bad he feels about, ditching Amber the way that he has been doing, and Eve even saying at the soup kitchen when he was supposed to meet Amber there, and Eve knows what's up, and she's like, just want to let you know, you don't understand how much Mark like actually like cares about you, and then she just, man, it's just great stuff. And then they get his blood at the end, Mark's blood, that little sample that happened. I was like, the
creepy King of the Hill guy. He looks like Bobby.
He does look like Bobby. It's just great. So yeah, I'm gonna give it A plus, and I'm hoping we have, like you said, 3 episodes left. So hopefully this is gonna end off with a bang, and I definitely want to see more from season 2. Hopefully, I'm sure we'll get more of season 2. But this might prompt me to like kind of like open up a comic book, maybe. Well, we'll see. But it's been a while. I'm just forget it. I'm just so busy. But yeah, so we get an A from Devin, an A plus from myself. And of course, thank you so much, Devin, for coming on each and every week, being my co-host. Wouldn't be here without you. We have been expanding our family. For those who don't know, if you go listen to our Godzilla versus Kong review, unfortunately, Devin was not able to join us, but we were joined by our newest member of the podcast, Parker Phillips. You can go ahead and follow him over on Twitter at, I believe it's Stu Phillips. It's spelled really, really weird, but I'll put his information in the description below. Parker's one of my really good friends here in town. So, he loves this stuff just as much as we do. And, it kind of just made sense to have him come on. And, we've kind of been on the hunt for a new co-host here on the pod. And I think Parker would be a nice fit. He has a little bit of a busy schedule, but he will make appearances when he can. So I think he might actually join us for Mortal Kombat when that comes out. So that would be a lot of fun. But
get over here.
Get over here. Sub-Zero. I'm actually excited for that, man. I'm liking these big, dumb, fun, just action-packed movies we've been getting. So did you watch Godzilla vs. Kong?
Yeah.
Quick thoughts?
It was fun. I mean, that's all that matters. It was just big, dumb fun.
Yeah, big, dumb fun. Got to see it on the biggest screen possible. And
yeah, I wish I saw it in theaters.
I cracked and watched it, when I got the screener, and then I saw it on Wednesday in theaters. But it was still great though. Like, I'm really glad that I did that, because I think it's coming to the point now where, especially with Warner Brothers, in their lineup, their slate this year, that people are going to say, is this the kind of movie that I want to watch on the silver screen, or is this something I just want to watch in on a Friday or Saturday night? And I feel like some of those might be, wanting to watch in on a Saturday night, like, because there's no way in hell I was watching The Little Things in theaters. I'm sorry, but no. But Space Jam, I'll watch Space Jam in theaters. Absolutely. Even, it looks a little hokey, but it actually doesn't look half bad, actually. At the same
Space Jam and hokey go together like hand in hand.
Yeah. And I eat that stuff up too. So it is what it is. But also, for all you listeners out there, we will be mixing up a few things. We'll be doing a few interviews on the podcast coming up with a few musicians of a few of my friends here in town. That'll be a little bit later down the road. Kind of have to get everything together and get the pieces of that puzzle put together. But we're gonna be doing it's not just a nice little separate segment here on the podcast of Nashville natives or Nashville artists. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but it'll be a good time for sure. Just to kind of shake it up here a little bit. But yeah, that pretty much concludes this episode review of Invincible for episode 5. So Devin, let's get out of here. And that's a wrap for today, everyone. Thank you all for listening, and make sure to check out the other shows over on MusicCityDriving.com and subscribe to our show so you never miss an episode. That was Devin. My name is Christian, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. And also, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcast.